Hi Danny, can you please introduce yourself and talk to me a little bit about what Salt Gypsy is?
My name is Danny and I'm the founder of Salt Gypsy, which is a women's surf company, and it started as my personal blog while I worked on a surf charter boat in the Maldives back in 2012.
And how has Salt Gypsy evolved since then?
Oh my goodness, where do I even begin? I started with 2 pairs of leggings that I had made for myself, and I just simply couldn't find anything in the marketplace that either suited my style or suited my budget, which was surfboard wages. We paid in waves, right? So, and really began blogging about road testing these leggings in the surf, which I needed for sun protection, also modesty. I was living and working in a 100% Muslim nation, and just turns out they're extremely practical when you're doing surf travels. And so because I'd just been building this community through the blogs, when it came time to sharing these images of me wearing leggings in the surf, which I had not seen before, like there was zero promotion or marketing around the very concept of wearing surf leggings. I had a few people interested in wanting to purchase some from me, which was awesome, and that really sparked an idea to go, maybe I've got a product here that I might be able to sell. And so at the end of that surf season, I put it out through my blog and Facebook page, hey, would anyone be interested in customizing some surf leggings? I'll get them made. And I had about 20 people order some pairs, so that really kick-started the business that you see today.
You started with leggings, as you were just saying, and now you've evolved into bikinis and potentially wetsuits and stuff as well, or is there more, you know?
So I started with those 2 pairs of leggings and about $50 to my name, so I've had zero capital right from the start, which has really forced me to think outside the box in terms of A, starting a business, and then B, surviving for those first 3 years and continuing to survive. So I've really operated as a very lean startup right from the get-go, and just each production run that I do has evolved and tweaked and gotten better, and then as slowly as I could build up increments of, some extra cash, I'd expand my range or introduce a rash guard. So over the years, a lot of research, a lot of prototyping and sampling and trying things. I've really tried to stick to doing what I do and being the best at doing that, which is making really cool, stylish sun protection gear to help women feel expressive in the surf, because I know that confidence translates into how you surf.
I also had a little cheeky look on your website, and it also says you guys, all of your fabrics are recyclable. So how are you sourcing that, and how are you, keeping the ocean free of all nasties?
So around 2015, I handbraked my business after I had a couple of hiccups, I guess you could say, with the manufacturing team that I was working with, mostly in Bali at that time. And it really sent me down this long trail of figuring out and researching I'm not getting the best quality product here. What does that look like to me, and where do I get that made? And so it's a lot of Google research, a lot of research into Outerknown and Patagonia, who are both exemplary businesses in terms of the transparency they have around their suppliers, which has been fantastic. And so following down the rabbit hole that is garment manufacturing, was able to find the fabric that we're using now, which is from Italy, and they incorporate regenerated nylon yarn. They work with several different organisations to retrieve ghost fishing nets from the seas, also carpet and textile offcuts and other industrial nylon waste that would otherwise end up in landfills. And they source all this waste material and put it through a process basically to create this regenerated nylon yarn.
You mentioned about reusable fabrics that you're doing with Salt Gypsy. Why is that important?
For me, it's a no-brainer. It should be industry standard. What I'm doing should not be an exception. It should be the norm. And over the last 2 to 3 years, we've definitely been seeing a change happening as part of the fashion revolution that's going on globally at large. So I think why it's important is because we need to be reusing the waste that already exists rather than continuing to make more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know that, for example, the Italian company that produced this regenerative nylon yarn, they're working really hard to close the loop, basically, there's a lot of chat about that going on within the fashion industry itself. What do we do with our products at the end of their life? And kind of, I'm waiting for a time when, you know, the O'Connell brand people will accept back our end-of-line swim and surf garments that we can send back to them. They put it back through that regeneration process and out comes another yarn to them, you know. So I think there's more happening towards trying to close the loop within the fashion industry at a larger scale, but it's something that's moving a bit slower than we would probably like to see. But things are happening, which is really encouraging.
You've evolved incredibly. So you've gone from 2 pairs of leggings to surfwear to now surfboards. So talk to me a little bit about that. And I also know that your boards are specific for women. So what makes them so specific for women in a sense, and also like what makes them different to any other normal board?
Great question, True. Yeah, so 2 years ago now, I was approached by a company, GSI, who were looking to work with a company such as us to create a women's specific board range. And the main difference being that I ended up working with the surfboard designer Richie Lovett, ex-pro surfer, which was amazing and really interesting to learn from those guys, you know, what they kind of saw, how they thought we would be able to work with them. And we were on the same page with the different types of board models, which you see today, the shorebird, twin fin, the mid-tide, mid-length, and then the dusty longboard. So I think with my background from Salt Gypsy and being just like an everyday female surfer, I've never competed, but I have built my life and my lifestyle around proximity to the ocean and surfing really good waves for like the last 20 years. But I still want to improve my style, both in the surf and with what I wear. So I was really thinking of myself and my friends, my customer base and community that I've built with Salt Gypsy, and just wanting to create a range of different models that we could easily expand our own quiver so that we're encouraged and we have the options available to surf different boards in different conditions.
What's in the future for Salt Gypsy? What's next for you guys?
The truth is, I don't know. This year's thrown a real spanner in the works for everyone and just turned the whole world upside down. But I also think as stressful and challenging as it's been for everyone, one thing that I have learned over the last 8 years is there is always opportunity in the crazy town. And also I'm really interested in female surfers in business and starting their own freelancing gig or whatever it is. And of the 8 years that I've been thrown into the deep end of self-employment and building a business from the bottom up, and just thinking about how I can start sharing my knowledge as well, and kind of elevating everyone up at the same time. So yeah.
Well, thanks for having a chat, Danny. It was so good to see and understand what you're doing with Salt Gypsy, and I'm looking forward to what's coming next in the future.
Cool. Thank you so much, True, and I just really wish you guys all the best with what you're up to as well. It's so cool to see.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.